of the work from Wietfeldt on the Michigan side and Morris on the Delaware side. They had a tough outing against Penn, so we'll see if they'll be able to bounce back in this one. But I think that'll be a big spot today to see who can control the possession. Both teams having very, very strong outings in their last games out. Or sorry, very strong for Michigan, not great for Delaware. But this will be a great matchup, I'm hoping.
Yeah, and the thing that I noticed most as we get ready for the opening face-off here, and it's going to be picked up by Delaware to start things off, and they'll get on the offensive. But the thing,
way up and under through with the stick, or step to the side and let that one hit you in the hip. But that's just really good shot placement and taking the opportunity when it's given.
And so Bohm getting in the zone and then right off with his left. High velocity shot as well to get it through the netting, and a nice opening salvo now for Michigan as they take the lead and again have the ball and will attempt to extend on offense.
Finish.
Yeah, it looks like
we're seeing Delaware make that play around, and I think that play opened up because of the skip pass on the last play. So the defense wasn't as aggressive as in coming to the offensive player. They'd seen more ISO offense, more one-on-ones trying to beat the defender. And since they made that pass, it opens things up. And I think when you're on offense, you want to create more opportunities for yourself. And making legend with that question mark dodge, it's a fundamental dodge, and it's a really nice finish.
And it came at a good time too, as the flurry of shots here in the last minute or so has given Delaware the advantage by a couple. But now here a slip towards the top, and Michigan will try and fight back here with about 2.5 left in the first quarter of play.
Well, that's how quickly things can change, especially if you're having offense.
Yeah, once you can get that close and you've got as good of a shot as he does, able to get that easy one in. 3-2 now, and just a 1-goal game here in the final minute 40 of the first quarter is a scramble at half field. This one getting away, and it looks like it will be chased down, and another slip towards the top end of the field.
Yeah, and we'll see. It looked, you see the top players coming out and making a difference. I think you see 5 caused turnovers on both sides already. I think the weather might be contributing to a little bit of sloppy play. But at the Faceoff X, we're seeing a nice showing, 4 for 6 for Delaware, and that's Premtaj, who had a real tough outing last game out.
Yeah, and then the reward today, that puts him at 10 on the season, and he's a guy who pretty much equally balances his goals and assists out there. So he's a versatile player that's done a real good job for this Delaware team so far this season, and certainly, like you said, the matchup today has worked in his favor.
Yeah, we'll see if they keep going to the well on that one, or if they find the back of the net. More good offense out there for both of these squads.
Yeah, Michigan definitely has done a good job of getting close and letting it rip there, and that's been their key against Ellington so far.
Oh, big hit there in the middle of the field. Delaware's going to hold on.
At the top on this team in points, came into today with 26 and has added to that number here already in the first about quarter and a half, as we've got 9 to go here in the second.
I think you're Delaware. You just want to get back a really nice play for the Michigan Wolverines.
And it's the quick transition as well. They're able to make and get all the way down the field and put themselves in good position for that. And, especially how we've been noting here in the first quarter of play, how Michigan's play had been a little bit sloppy, right, with the turnovers and sort of adjusting to the turf and everything. But
sloppy on the defensive side from Delaware. I mean, ball doesn't move coming out of the timeout. No slide coming. It didn't look like Michigan was even set up in their offense yet. I mean, kind of a wide set and then just run by your guy and nobody comes. So take a rip.
Yeah, coming out of the timeout, defensively, you have to sort of set yourself up in a bit better of a position there to defend. And it took, less than 20 seconds for them to find the hole.
And then they leave too much room right on the crease. And in that tight, I mean, just hit the netted portion. That's good offense.
And it's exactly what we were wanting to see more of from Delaware, and that gets back to how they were successful earlier in the game with controlling the possession and being more patient with it. And for them, they're going to want to continue that here, and maybe try and tie things up before the end of the first half. But right now, it's Michigan's ball.
Yeah, I think if you can just prevent Michigan handily, 21-5, 18-8, 20-12, 13-10. So it's important that they got the offense cooking, but it's going to be a considerable step up in competition.
And we'll get things started here as Michigan will start with the ball at the face-off at the start of the third quarter. So we get the third quarter underway. Michigan out in front by 1. It's 6-5 as that one's going to go all the way behind.
The top of the box. So, giving up a good shot for a great shot, that's good offense for Michigan. But again, a little bit sloppy on the defensive side from Delaware. They're not recovering as quickly to their slides as I'd like to see, and they're coming a little sooner than I think they need to.
Yeah, they need to be able to shore that up as this game goes on, because this attack from Michigan will try and pick that apart here as they do a quick shot right in front of the net, and it looks like that one went through.
Oh, and that one's going to count too. It looked like the Zebras got together to talk about it. Goalie wanted in the smaller crease as he ran across with that one in the back of the net before the crease violation. So I think you're looking at that. And, if we get the replay on that one, you look at the defender come high. He probably should have cut lower and gone beneath the other player, because he put himself in kind of a bad situation. I think if you are the other defenseman, you got to slow down that attackman a little bit, get your stick out there, something, because he put his teammate in kind of a bad spot there.
And that's just more of what we were starting to allude to. Have to be able to tighten.
But I mean, letting them roll here. I feel like there's lines in the sand. If you get to 3, you get to 5, and those feel like bigger numbers than 1 or 2.
Yeah. And
so
it's certainly one of those things where now it's 9-5 and it's a 4-goal lead for Michigan. It just sort of snowballs, right? And
the other slide comes and somebody's wide open on the crease. So more good offense from Michigan, but again, a little bit of an ill-advised defensive play for Delaware.
And that's just been the story of this third quarter so far out of the half. And Michigan, the team on the road, has certainly taken advantage of what Delaware has been giving them so far out of this halftime. And now they'll attempt to extend it even further.
Overhand shot, and that one beats the goalie 5-hole. So that's just a nice shot on the offensive side.
Yeah, it's about changing the angles of the shot and sort of giving these guys different looks, and he was able to slip it through the legs of Taylor Hunter in goal. So 10-6 is the score. Delaware finally biting back.
Start to look at some of this depth for Michigan, and again, it's just keeping your head on a swivel, keeping your sticks in the passing lane. I mean, that one came all the way across the crease. So, if you're defending that one, you'd like to have a better idea of where the ball is. But, I mean, it's a great pass.
Yeah, it really was.
Great pass, excellent finish in tight, takes the big hit. That's the sort of thing that can get your sideline amped up. We saw them score 3 goals in, less than 90 seconds in the first quarter, rather. So this is a Delaware team that can score. So that's important for momentum.
And
I think for this, you just got to make sure you don't get scored on.
Yeah, I mean, talk about athleticism, the way he was able to reach and grab that pass and then readjust himself for the shot. And, of course, due to the way that they started the previous quarter coming out of halftime, they really put it to Delaware's defense, took advantage of some mistakes, and got themselves a little bit of space. And now we'll see how these two teams respond at the start of this fourth quarter of play, the final 15 minutes about to get going.
Yeah, I think if Michigan wants to be competitive on the national scale and in postseason, these are the kind of games that they need to put away. So I think we'll learn about what kind of team Michigan. Either way, that's exactly how they drew it up. So that's a really well executed extra man.
So they're able to take advantage once again, and it's pretty much the same as last time. as we got a big tight scramble near midfield here to try and pick this one up. And this possession will be important. Still fighting for it.
I think this is going to go against Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like a Michigan player was underneath or maybe getting the switch. If you are that defenseman that's getting in the way, you have to slow down the offensive player. Otherwise, they get a hands-free shot from about 10 yards. And, you get a player like that with his hands free, it's going to be bad news for your goalie. And so defensively, they're going to have to work out that two-man game to be successful.
So now it's a 12-8 lead for Michigan, back on top by 4 as we enter the final 5 minutes of this fourth quarter of play.
The shot clock and the game clock about even. You have to go out because you need to practice that if you really need it in a close game. You need to get the ball back. But, in the grand scheme of things, that one, only matters in the stat book.
So now in the final half minute,